Hello, everyone. This is Maria from mariascraftingcorner.com, and welcome and thank you so much for being here. I sure hope that I was not able to be here last week. I am sorry about that. I almost was not here this week either. My daughter had her four wisdom teeth removed, and so I spent all day yesterday with her, and that kind of put me a little bit behind. Oops. So I appreciate you guys being here. We are going to be working on a super cute card for birthday. One of my niece nephews' birthday is coming up, and I figured we are going to do something fun for him. And if you don't know, I am a Stampin' Up demonstrator, and if you are interested in a catalog or having a chat about Stampin' Up and all that good stuff, do send me an email to Maria at mariascraftingcorner.com. I'm a little frazzled. I'm sorry about that. Again, I almost didn't go live today just because it was crazy. It has been a couple crazy weeks. So, what are we going to be using today? And if you've been here before, you know that the moment I saw this suite, I absolutely love it. Let me move to the crafting table real quick. There we go. So these Happier Than Happy is one of my favorite suites from our annual catalog. The paper is to die for because it has all these whimsical little animals, and I just love it, right? It's one of those things that I really like. And if you're just joining, thank you for being here. I am looking at my other computer here just to try to figure out if somebody's joining. I am sorry I was a little bit late. Again, crazy. At least I didn't spill my coffee, so that's all good news. Hi Susie, how are you? And so I was telling you guys that I love this suite. Definitely one of my favorites. I think I've used it for most of my birthday cards to my nieces and nephews, so they kind of know now what they're going to get. And we're going to be building hey Magna, how are you? A card that I found, and let me go back to the place because I have no way how to pronounce it. So I found it on Pinterest. Her name is Sandrine. She's from France. Her blog is called, if my French is pronunciation, which is like, it's something like papier, sisou, etc. I don't know, sort of mostly, maybe. Which I think is kind of like paper, scissors, and, rock. I think that's what it is. So she is, beautiful card. I think she made it in 2020 or so. And I fell in love with it. You guys know that, right? Of course, I found her on Pinterest, and of course, I loved it. Her measurements are all in centimeters, of course. And so if you use centimeters and do try to make let me remove that. I'm going to say quote unquote translation to the imperial system, I have found out that it's really, really hard because most of the time let's say their number, let's say 9, it would be, I don't know, whatever, and a 16th, right? So maybe I'm going to bring this and show you. So all the full numbers, let's say 7, well, this is not bad, let's say 8, it's always like in between one and the other, and it's super complicated to make the actual quote unquote translation without having some issues. So I did the best I could. It works well once you put it all in the card. I found out a cheat sheet kinda that I'll probably follow up on next week, at least show you real quick how to do it, because it's pretty similar. Just instead of creating the whole, like in the page, the whole work into it, you just add pieces to it, kind of what I did with the corner, the blocks the block steps. I don't remember how you call it, but you just that instead of creating it within one page, I just added the little blocks, right? And it's so much easier. So let's get started. I'm going to do same as I have done in the past. I'm going to work with my with a piece of white paper because some of the colors I already have are darker, and so I figured white is always just easier. And so and this is, by the way, so we need, I'm gonna bring these so you know. Whoops. So you are going to need a 5.5 by 11 piece. So it's going to be a square card, and again, it's one of those cards that I have to say it's easier for me because these are cards that I'm going to give in person. But of course, you can buy a 6x6 envelopes and they will fit perfectly. Okay. Now the next piece is 5 3/8 by 10 3/4. Okay, and same as always, all those measurements are going to be linked below for you to download in your PDF tutorial. So the first step is we're going to align our shortest side, and we're going to align at 2.5. Okay, and although I try very hard to stay away from the 16ths because they're complicated, we're going to use a couple of them. Can't help it. So we're going to cut from again a line at 2.5. That is like not there. There you go, at 2.5, and we're going to cut from 1/8, 1 1/8 to 8 1/16. Now, because it is hard, and it is even hard to see here, I have to say, I said 1 1/8, so I kind of like put it around 1 1/4. I don't know if you can see well there, but I put it around 1 1/4 and cut to 8, more or less, for two reasons. The first is I don't want to put my big head in there and kind of really see where's the 8th or where's the 16th. And the second is the next step will let us know if we need to cut a tiny bit in this area. And like I always say, there's a whole lot better to have to cut extra than you went too far, right? So we're going to get this card, like, you know, I think that my first try would always be getting this shorter side first, but in this case it's not. We're going to turn it around, and we are going to use this as our, what it would be, as our left side. I hope that makes sense. We are going to align now at 2 11/16. And if you don't know, well, I have it marked here because I have the 2 3/4 marked because that's the half of 5.5, right? So the 2 11/16, that, guys, that's a mouthful. Is right next or right before the 2 3/4. So it's kind of easy. Of course, it's easier for me because I have it like so, right? And I think I'm making a mistake here. There you go. So we going there, 2 11/16, and we are going to score all the way to the cut line. Now we're going to align to 5 3/8, which is really the half of our piece, and we're going to score all the way. And now we're going to stand our trimmer, and we're going to go to, I'm looking at my cheat sheet here. You guys know I always have 7 1/8, and score. Well, you almost made a mistake, and score. And then we're going to move to 8 5/8. Yes, you can see the 8 5/8. It's right there, and we're going to score. And finally 9 5/8, and we're going to score. Whoops, there you go. And like I said, this is going to tell you if you needed to cut a little bit. So as you can tell, I was pretty close in here. We need to cut a tiny bit in here for this to be working. And again, much easier to do this. Magna, where are you located? You were not in Ian's way, right? I'm just wondering if there was anybody in ES way and if there's anything that's needed. Okay, so our next step, I'm going to remove these real quick. We are going to fold, and this is an easy fold. So fold mountain. This one goes valley. This one goes mountain. And I'm doing this softly so I don't ruin the rest of the cardstock. Mountain, and I have tend not to do this until the end. So I'm now going to try to fold this. These half of the card, so this will fold valley. Okay, and this is where you're going to see that the 16th, you know, like it's much needed and it's a little bit harder. So if you can tell, there is a, let me see, you can tell it's not reaching out there exactly. It works. Oh, okay. So Magna not affected by EN. Is it gonna drop some rain to you guys or for you? But so again, this shows like this, but this goes inside here, and so really it's going to be you knowing that it does not fit exactly. When you have the whole card done, it doesn't show, and you'll see here when it's done how it goes. Okay, so this is the main piece. The next piece I want to show you is, let me bring, I have another piece of white cardstock here, and we are going to cut the sides. So we're going to create this side, and I'll guide you through this one. And it's really pretty simple, but it's very important that you are aware where you are cutting. So let me bring my piece that I have already cut. So this is one of the pieces that is going to go inside. Isn't this just adorable? I absolutely love this paper. This was easier because I knew this was going to be how it was going to be glued, right? Or adhere. So I knew that to cut sideways, I needed to put it in here to make this cut. So this first cut is, you have to align at 2 3/8. Okay, so 2 3/8. And you're going to cut all the way to 2 1/2. Oops, sorry, I was not paying enough attention. And then we are going to we're going to line this one at 2 1/2. So on the side that's cut, and we're going to cut. And that's what it's going to create this piece. Okay. Now for the other one, kind of goes with the same idea, but let me show you. Here's the other piece. For me to start this piece, I had to do it backwards. And you know, guys, sometimes when I have done pieces like this, like I have been able to do them up front without a whole lot of issue. I don't know if it's my brain is not connecting or what, but I had to do it backwards. So in order for me to get these piece, I had to cut this. And what that means is that I went right backwards, making sure that which side is going to be the top of the card. And it's just the same cut. You go to 2 3/8. And then this one will go to 4 1/4. And then you will again do the same thing. Get this, like I said, in the side that's cut, align at 4 1/4 and cut. Okay, so it's pretty simple, but you have to be paying attention. And yes, you can imagine how many times I did this the first couple of times, because I don't know, again, my brain was just not connecting adequately, I think. So I have all my other pieces cut. All those measurements are of course going to be included in the tutorial. And I am going to start with our front, and I'm using Sahara sand, and like I said, this is 5 1/2 by 11 score at 5 1/2, so just the square, right? My for I'm doing this just to take that edge when the when the blade is a little not a little too much love for that blade, then it tends to like leave a weird piece out. So we're gonna start with that, and this is what I have going on. This piece is from a retired series paper. I just wanted to use it, really not because it was super cute, but because just to use it, right? It was from last year catalogs. I really love this paper, but since it's been retired, I just have not used it. Of course, you can absolutely use a piece of mossy meadow cardstock if that's what you want, or other colors. In my case, I use this one. I use it partially because you're really not going to see it, right? Let me show you, because what I created is a window. And to create this square, I used our tailored, our stylish shapes. I keep talking about them. I have them together and they always get me confused. I have, whoops, as you can tell, they have received a lot of love lately. I have used these a lot. I absolutely love them. If you don't have them, I mean, really, you need them. Partially because I love the fact that you will get stitching on the square if you need the square, or on the outside if you just need the outside, which is what I got in here, right? Super, super cute. I don't know if you can tell, but I absolutely love stitching. So it's one of those things that really draw me to it in the first place. So this is going to be our window, and I think that looks super cute. And then we're going to have one of our big bears in there. But let's start adhering these. As you can tell, this piece does not need to be, it just needs to be smaller than this piece, right? In this case, I was mindful of here because, as you could tell, it didn't have much on the top or below. But it really is not a big deal. Now, same as always, I have some of my friends here, and I absolutely love it. They are so cute. And I have a couple owls. Let me see. One is here. And I think I'm going to put this owl somewhere around here. We'll center it here in a minute. And one of the big in here. So this is how this is going to look. Isn't that just so cute? Again, I am actually very much in love with this suite, which you guys know. Now, this is the regular Tombow. I have used these in the past. I have decided that I am so freaking messy with the Tombow, the opening, that I need something to protect to protect my crafting. So I have decided that I am going to use this small one so I don't have glue all over my space, which is what ends up happening, right? Well, you guys have seen me. It just like blobs out everything, and it's so sad. It's like always so messy. Anyways, so I decided I'm going to just put it all here and keep using this, and I'll be good. So I just calculated that if you wanted to do it, you could have done just glued these smaller pieces to the wing. I'm gonna call it the window panel. But you know, I have been playing with it all day long, really. So I was able to just kind of eyeball it without much or many issues. And I am going to use my guys, my Stampin' Seal Plus. And go ahead and adhere this. And again, this is a quarter smaller, so this is 5.5 by 5.5. This is 5 3/8 by 5 3/8, and this is going to be 5 1/4 by 5 1/4, since they are all square. And we're just calculating this as best as we can, centering, and I absolutely love this. Now we're going to glue our little birdie, little owl. He's going to be hanging in there, kind of. And I'm going to kind of put it inside a tiny bit so he's kind of part of the inside, because we're going to get our big bear who's going to go here. And I'm going to put him a little bit lower so we can get a glimpse of that tree in there. And he is going to go on dimensionals, but I am going to stop here and not going to add him just yet, because we need to work on this inside and add that, and that is very complicated with dimensionals. Or maybe it's not very complicated for everybody, but it's complicated for me. So let me bring my silicone craft sheet, and we're going to put some crafting seal plus. And if you are new here, please let me know you're watching. I love to say hello and kind of interact with you the best I can. It also means I make more mistakes because I'm paying less attention, but I think we will survive. Okay, so this is going to be the front of our card, and I really think it's super, super cute. And let's start working with the inside. I already had, as you can tell, done the whole inside of it, and we are going to start creating this. This is going to be quite simple compared to some of our other, because it's not going to have more than one matting, right? I always layer and layer. I have a thing with layering, and I decided that it was not necessary for this one. So but I love the fact that we're kind of creating a scene, and this is all paper, all the paper, and I love that. Love the fact that you have, hey, how do you pronounce your name? Is it Cherry? Am I saying that nice? Spanish speaking in my defense, just in case. And this is the other piece, and as you guys can tell, I cut it from the same piece, which again, one of my favorite papers, and it's the Happy Forest Friends. And so, and I no longer have one of that because I've used it so long, but it was this half piece, right? And so we have the ability to create one full scene from the paper only. And I absolutely adore that. Anyways, I should do what Lisa does, and that's getting that getting the rubber band, but I don't have any rubber bands around here, so let's try to do this. Fine, it's gonna fight with me because of course, why not? So we're gonna glue this. And we are going to adhere here. And if we have time, cool. If we have time, I will try to do the second one that I had. Like I said, I was going to do that yesterday, but my daughter had that surgery, and it was just a dental surgery, but oh my God, she was struggling, poor little girl. So, not little girl, she's 24, but so I went to her home and stayed with her most of the day, and that definitely completely, affected my ability to finish the other cars. So I was able to cut most of it, but I didn't finish it. So if we have time, we can work on that one. It is really, really cute. Because it's of course, because it's a Christmas card, and using the lights aglow, and oh my God, I'm I'm a paper addict, right? So all we're doing is putting the pieces together. And like I said, all these measurements will be in the tutorial that you will be able to download. Now that I mentioned, you will have to give me a little bit of time to finish that one. I think it will be done by tomorrow in the morning, because definitely I have not had the time to type it all and, double check all the measurements and all that good stuff. And I don't want to confuse you guys. So we are just creating a beautiful scene with paper. And I think that is, I mean, it's for a kiddo that's 3 years old. So I think he's going to love it. And the shirt I got him has a fox, so I thought that was super cute. And of course, same as always, I have all my little pieces here, and we're going to see where we are going to put some of them. So I have my fox in here, and I want to add him, and he fits just perfectly in there, right? Now, if I wanted, I could put it here, but it's kind of off, right? I know that these are cards and they don't have to exactly resemble reality, but a part of me kind of wants it to be pretty accurate, I guess. So I'm going to put our little fox in here. And the card is so, so cute that I may put like a piece in here of maybe white and write like the little message in there, because if you glue it on this side it will still be completely functional, right? Even if, or just, you know, he's 3, he's not going to read it, just put a little note in the inside for this one specifically, just because again I didn't want to mess up the cuteness of it. And I have another owl here, and we can put him in here. And yes, you guessed it. You remember when I did that other card that had a lot, that had these two? It was a while ago. Hi, Lucy. How are you? Oh, thank you. Oh, I am so glad to hear you're learning from me. That is so nice. I appreciate it. I am so glad you like them. And let's see. I have, you guys know I always cut a lot of stuff, and then I do save them because obviously it's super useful. I'm gonna put one of these one here. Oops. One of the extra mushrooms, and I have one of the other how you call this piece? I don't want to say piece of, okay guys, I need your help. How would you call this? Trunk? Tree trunk? Is that how you call it? Okay, well, I have one, and these are all either dies or stamps from. Oh, hi! How are you? That's so exciting, from Denmark. What time is it there? And we are just adding these, and it's just, I'm just going to put it in here. And we're just creating some fun, right? In the card, because again, this is for a 3-year-old who's going to enjoy all of it. And that's all. It's fun, right? It's just so cute. Okay, let me see. I have some extra leaves in here. These leaves, and I'll show you here in a minute once I'm able to gather them. When you run it through, oh, thank you, Lucy. See? What would I do without you guys? Thank you, Susie. Thank you, everybody. If you see it here, if you run it through, when you get this die, it will separate and just take this off. But I sometimes just like them as is. And in this case, I'm going to use my Stampin' Seal Plus, because we know that it will go over, but then it will hold it together. So it stays all together, because I like the whole leaf as well. And then we can just put some fun leaves around. And I have 2 of them. Oh, I have a few. So I think that the whole goal is for it to be, you know, of course, just like the outside, but I wanted it, all of it. In the afternoon, I'm assuming. So I'm guessing it's October 5th. I'm just curious. I love that there's such much difference around the world, right? It makes it so interesting. And here I have some of my other pieces, and I wanted to put this one just maybe in the back, maybe nope, just to put some extra green, but I'm thinking I'm gonna let it be. Isn't this card so simple? all you gotta do is have this gorgeous, gorgeous paper, and you're easy and done with your card. And now the next step is adding these, which I'm going to fold as is, in our card here. And I'm just aligning as best as we can. And you guys know that I always struggle with this thing, so, which I'm glad because it's keeping it real, I believe. And I'm just going to use glue. Of course, I'm going to use glue because it's easier. And of course, we're not going to glue these because this needs to move back and forth, right? For the it's not interactive really, but for the action part. And I have not moved this, so it stays in the same place. Oh, or I can just put something in here. What was I thinking, Maria? Sometimes I'm telling you guys. And now I'm doing the exact same thing, holding. So this does not move. And gluing that. We're going to hold that. And in the meantime, we're going to bring our little bear friend. And we are going to bring our dimensionals, of course. Oh, Jesus. Okay, it's late. Well, thank you for being here. Like I always say, paper has two sides, and don't, I don't waste anything as much as I can within my abilities. So paper is one of those that I definitely try to save. Dimensionals, we all know, is not one of them. I always put a lot of them. I don't know why. That way I feel secure that this poor bear is not going to fall off, right? Or at least not easily, especially since it's going to go to a 3-year-old, right? So he is going to play with it and look at you. That's brilliant. Thank you, Susie. That's brilliant. And if you guys are reading, or she says that on the precision tip glue, and you know what? I've been trying to remember how to call this, and now it's tip. Thank you. Just remove these and insert a sewing pin. I will have to get one because I think that the one I have, I always have some. This is not sewing, of course. Yeah, that's not gonna make it. I have to look. Oh, I have one here. Let me see. That's not sewing either. I have a cute one. Does it fit? Oh, look how cute. My little pearl. Thank you so much. Wonderful tip. Just put your sewing pin here and it will keep it all perfect for you to use. Wonderful. Thank you so much for that tip. I would have not thought of that. And that's what's wonderful about having a community, right? Because that's what we are. We're here to help each other. So the last piece, and I know I told you guys that I was going to try not to put my big head on top of you. So I got a piece using the same stylish shapes. Really needed. It's awesome. And I brought my stamp apparatus and have it all ready. I am using the Charming Sentiments. If you've been here before, you know I love this set. And I'm using the one that says wishing you the happiest of birthdays because I love it. And although it has its own die, I just figured that I wanted to use this one. But here, there you go. I'm just going to put my stamp apparatus, and guess whose head you're not seeing today? Mine. So I'm going to keep using these from now on. That's my, how would you say, that's what I have decided. From now on, I'm just going to use the stamp apparatus so you guys don't have to see my big head. And most likely things are going to be straight too. So win-win situation here. Okay, so I am just going over it. Ha! See, guys? Tools are tools, and we need definitely to use them. When I have a piece like this, you guys know I always have a rag. And so you just bring your rag and clean it in here, and there's no further issue. Remember that these magnets are like crazy strong. I have broken a couple already. So you guys know, like it just like snuck into each other, and like didn't even have anything to say like it was done. And I don't know where I want this one. I think I want it here in the middle. Yes. I initially envisioned it in here, maybe like that, and with dimensionals. But sometimes I think I leave like the top very empty. Um, and so I was like, yeah, maybe. No, I still like that they're better. So it's going to be what it is going to be. So I'm going to put obviously dimensionals on this side, but not on this side, right? And we're going to put a little bit of glue in here. Ah, look at that. I am so happy. Thank you, Susie. That is a wonderful, wonderful idea. I appreciate your help there. And we're going to put just another dimensional here, like in the middle for it to get it. And you guys see that? The back ends are stuck to my to my fingers there. Okay, so this is the car. Listen, oh, well, I can still put it in the top. Let's see. Haha, look at that. That rarely ever happens, Susie. So it has to go on the top, I guess. Okay, let's see. And you're right, it looks good on the top. Is it straight? Yes, it's straight. So I decided to bring these, the brush dimension. I keep forgetting their names, and I lost the name and everything, but it's fine. And I'm going, because they have these one that it's kind of greenish. It's not green, but you know what I'm saying? So I'm going to bring one here, and sometimes they are rebellious. It's like having teenagers. I'm just rebellious all the time. And one around there. And I'm going to put another one of the smaller ones up top. And I don't want to put it anywhere else because it needs to, I think it's too busy for them to be noticeable. That's me. Maybe it's not really, but that's what I think. So, isn't that cute? And so when you open this, this goes, this is actually needs to be folded like so, right? Whoops. And there you go. That's how it goes. And now when you open it, it goes like this, and you can see it like this. And it's almost like a story. I really like it. Again, it's really nice when you have a piece of paper that can just pretty much do the whole card, right? I think that this kiddo is going to have a lot of fun with this. The other thing that I was thinking that, oh, and let me show you. See what I was telling you guys, that it doesn't show the, that is not exact. So it's almost 40 minutes. I have the other one almost done. You guys want to go for it? It's gonna be cute. Let's try. Worst case scenario, we let it be. You guys have all the instructions already. And yes, it has gold. Maria loves gold. Everybody knows that. And it's red because I love red. And hello, everyone. I am trying to fix this. I hope it's fixed and you will see me soon. I am, let me see. I'm trying to get this to the end. Okay, can you guys see me now? Okay, I'm back. Okay. Woohoo! As you can tell, here's my phone. Let me move it a tiny bit up. Okay. I am glad I'm back. Thank you. Good, good, good. Okay, so let me move to the crafting table, which is now a little disorganized, as you guys can tell. Let me move this, because unfortunately my phone disconnected. So I think that what's happening is my daughter is trying to get a hold of me, and I think she just forgot that I have this going on. So I don't know how much you guys heard, but this is all 8 smallers, so 5.5, 5.5, 5 3/8 by 5 3/8, and 5 1/4 by 5 1/4. This piece, it does not really matter how its size, right? It's just going to be here. And the only advantage it has is that, and I did, let me erase this, is that since you are going to put this behind as another window, then it's just really, really easy to play with it, until it's straight and you have it exactly where you want it. If you want it centered, if you want it towards, you know, one side or whatnot, that will be up to you. So in this case, I want it as centered as possible, and we're going to do the same thing I always do, which is hold and haha, here's Susie, haha, hold and use glue. And I'm going to use glue here because I know this is where it needs to go, right? And that will help me. And that did not move. And we're going to go around and do the same thing. Hold and glue. And again, gluing up here. And that is our center of the card, the part of the window. This is going to go on top of these, and we are going to bring our Stampin' Seal Plus, because you guys know I love it. Somehow it's being rebellious there. Okay, I brought everything in, and now it's a little bit messy. I got a little distracted with that. And I don't know what happened. Well, I don't know what happened because I don't have the notification, so I don't understand why it kind of affected the whole video process. That was really weird. And I'm going to adhere these, trying to center it. I always say as best as we can, because really that's how it works. And we're gonna adhere this other piano. So like I was saying at the very beginning of this card, I am using the lights aglow, and our specialty gold paper, and I love it, and I absolutely love the lights aglow. Some vanilla paper, and I don't know, guys, you use it often. You know, I have to force myself. And you know what's really funny? I like the vanilla one. And we're gonna work on the middle. The middle is, and this is cherry cobbler. Sorry, it's a little disorganized thanks to the whole interruption. And I already have that done, of course. And this one is going to be a tiny bit different. So let's start putting our pieces together. You guys know I love the cutting and layering. I thought that this needed the layering. So I am going to use glue, yes, because definitely when you have these different patterns, is you need a little bit more flexibility, and glue gives us that, right? So let me put some there, bring this up here and adhere. And then I have this one, using the same one we used for the front. This is just a tiny, this is an 1/8 smaller. So when I told you initially, this paper measures 5 1/4 by 5 1/4, right? Let me go back in here. This is 5 1/4 by 5 1/4. The gold one, sorry, is the one that, okay, erase that. I'm sorry. Whenever I get flustered, my brain stops thinking. I am sorry about that. This piece is 5 3/8 by 5 3/8, right? The inside gold is 5 1/4 by 5 1/4, and this one is 5 1/8 by 5 1/8. And you will cut, I will have those dimensions precisely in the tutorial for you, but you will just cut a tiny bit less here, all the way to 2.5, and it will stay more or less the same. But I will get all those dimensions exact for you there on the tutorial. Then we're going to do the same here. Okay. And like I was telling you guys, my daughter had the oral surgery, so I did not have a lot of time to do some of these things. But you know what? I realized that because the Merriest Moments is so cool, you can actually emboss and cut, and then you can kind of use these as pieces to decorate. So I absolutely love that idea. So again, for the other side, I am going to use another layer. And remember that the person that I found these from was Sandrine. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. And she has her blog she's from France, and her blog is I think it's paper, scissors, and rock, right? So you guys know. And in this case, I'm using this side, and I'll tell you why. Because I am going to actually create something here so you can write a little bit different than the other one. Again, that just gives us options, right, for you to play, which means that if you want to instead do this shape and just cut it and make it's absolutely doable. I just like how it looks. To me, it looks a little bit more finished, and I don't know if you see that, but that one is not all the way there. So I'm gonna go ahead and risk it, guys, and still needs a little bit more. I don't know if you guys know I don't cut anything straight. So this is a huge risk I'm taking, and as you can tell, that was not very artistic. So we'll figure out how to put something there too. Hide my inability to use the scissors. It's a sad moment in life when that happens and you realize that you can't use the scissors. So I did cut a piece here, and we're going to put this one here. And you know that in the back we have a joyful Christmas on the front, at the back, to you and to yours. And I am just going to bring that beautiful joy, and we're going to stamp it in red in our cherry cobbler. And I'm going to bring this piece here so there is less trauma if I made a mistake. And I'm going to use it in, and then yeah, you're going to see my big head because I didn't plant this one ahead, but in the corner. And that's straight enough-ish. I'm going to put that away because we don't want any disaster. These are all square, so these are easier. Oh my gosh, sometimes, guys, these are easier to use or not. Well, my Stampin' Seal Plus has decided to go and not work, but that's fine. And we're going to put this one in here. And let's bring the small one and put it in here. I think it's going on a strike, don't you guys think? It's so hard. Come on, peeps. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to create bring some decorations. I have here, let me see where they are at. So I have here one of the big flowers, and I was thinking we can just put it in here just as is. And there's one of those, and these are just die cuts, right? And just put it underneath. So we just create some interest in there. And I absolutely love the options that you have with this set. Absolutely. I almost made a mistake because we know. Okay. And I'm going to put it there. And later on, I'm going to bring some of the red and green adhesive back barrels. Is that how those are called? Anyway, some of these I really love them. I think they're so, so cute. And of course I have all my pieces cut in here, so I'm just going to have to figure out which one's which because they all got messed up when I got all frazzled. Okay, I have a piece, this piece. Hey, how are you, Miss Lisa? I'm so glad you're joining us. How are you feeling? So it's just gold, and we are going to use that gorgeous paper because, come on, isn't this just so beautiful, right? This paper is definitely one of my absolute favorites. And I'm not sure why I'm doing this backwards, but don't do what I'm doing. Oh God. So you know, Lisa, I lost connection for some odd reason and had to restart the live, and we all know that I'm not really good at that. So, and then this is another piece of our gold paper, and I emboss it with, let's see, I did keep it up here. Can't find it. How weird. I always keep everything that I use right next to me so I can give you guys the name of it, and now I can't find this one. Oh, here it is. See? I knew I had it. So this belongs to the Win3D 3D embossing folder. I love this because, as you can tell, you can really make the difference by just figuring out where to put your little piece, like in here. So I made the most out of a big snowflake and still got some of that interesting wind as they fall, right? Which kind of goes on with the whole theme of the card because it's stars and you know, let's say it's kind of snow too. So okay, and we are centering these, and then let's go ahead. And I wanted to create some change, so that's why I used the other side. Really, you can barely see it, right? So I don't know why this is so rebellious today. This has no up or down. I'm actually going to put it like this because I don't know if you can tell, but it's not completely well centered. And let me see where I put the other pieces. While I find them, this is the piece that we are going to put in here, and I want this as is so I can write a message in here. I'm not going to stamp anything on it because there's enough stamping already going on. But this piece is a quarter smaller than this one, and again, those measurements will be included below, not below, in your tutorial. But I do want to be able to, like, Christmas cards are a little bit different, right? I always like to say, you know, Merry Christmas and something from our house to yours, who knows, right? Whatever it is. So definitely I want a place to write in spite of my ugly handwriting. But that creates a difference, and that what that tells me though is that you can absolutely create just a, you know, divide these and have two different panels, and that will work just as well. And we'll see if I find the other piece. Wish me luck, guys. I don't see it. I don't know where I put it. But in the meantime, oh, gosh, I don't want to cut it, but I guess let's go for it. You know, let's see, what can we do here that it won't take us a lot of time. I'm just going to bring this one here, and that will do, so it does not take us a huge amount of time. And this one is, it's 7/8, so we'll need to cut here at 7/8. 7/8 by 2 3/4. And there's 2 3/4. I always cut, it's okay if you cut a little bit longer. Oh, thank you, Cherry. Yeah, it was quite a thing. Like, I think that my daughter was trying to call me and it kind of disconnect the whole feed, but I'm like, who gave you permission to disconnect me? I didn't touch anything. So I'm just going to put this one simple. Anyways, you can barely see it, but okay. There it is. So that's our card pretty much. Now we are going to work with adding these and adding some extra details to this card. I'm going to do the exact same thing I did for the other one. I'm just going to figure out, make sure it's well, you know, all centered and all the good stuff. And actually, it is easier. For me, it has been easier if I fold it. Okay, I'm a little off camera, sorry. If I fold it all the way, right? I don't know, it's easier to hold and it's easier to like really put in here. So just like I did before, I'm gonna hold it there, and now this time I'm gonna go actually a little bit different. I'm gonna glue this area, right? And hold it and glue it. And then we're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. And this one move a tiny bit. Okay, let's wish me luck, guys, because don't you just love glue? I love the fact that you have so much flexibility when you make mistakes. I love it. In spite of the fact that I also kind of like make such a huge mess with glue. It has its pros. In my case, oh my God, it's like I never learned how to use it. It's just ridiculous. Okay. Oh, you know what? How you pronounce your name? Is it Naja or is it Naja? Naja. I have a feeling that you're closer to Spanish when you pronounce vowels. And we're going to do the same here. Hold it and go for it. That was a big piece. And remember to not put glue in the movable pieces. I have decided that me and my craft table, it's just always crazy. Oh my God, when I'm making a card without any video, guys, it's kind of ridiculous. Oh my God, I surprise myself. I'm always like, what in the name of the world, right? So I was thinking, these are just die cuts, but we're gonna put a couple of them. So I'm gonna put this one here. This is a stamp and die cut it. And you guys know I've used this in the past and I really, really like this one. And we are going to, I have another golden one. And let's see, there it goes, more or less. And this is where I thought that we could put these red little thingies in the middle, kind of, you know, so we create some fun in there. So I'm just thinking I'm gonna put 3 of them. And that just gives it completely different look, doesn't it? And there you go. Isn't this super simple? Actually, I have so many pieces I could have done. Look at that. Everything I cut thinking I was going to use them all. Even some of this little ones. And I can probably do this one here, huh? Just to create some interest. There we go. Just a tiny bit. And that's our card. I think this is kind of miraculous. We made it, guys. We made it. And this is the first card I play with, which somehow got dirty now. And it's using that paper that I absolutely love. And of course I forgot because why not? It's very simple too. This is the first one I did. And this is where I realized that, you know, really the fact that it does not go perfectly, it does not really affect it. And I'm using early espresso. I was gonna say coffee espresso. but that's it. And what's the name of this paper? Holy Mother of the Lord. I don't have it here. Anyways, and I did color this because I love coloring, you guys know, and just a tiny bit so it creates some pop. And I am using those the flower adhesive. I love these trinkets. They are super super cute. I've used them a ton of times, and so and this and then in the inside is pretty simple, right? It's not a complicated card, but I like that it has that ability to stand and show. So we have 3 cards. The birthday one, which was our initial card, using just this beautiful paper and creating our little forest scene. We have our, and I really like this idea, the Christmas one. Super simple on the front, and then, oops, I did not fold it correctly. Super cute on the end, right? I think this is cute. I love the fact that you can write here. You can decorate this further. I just can't, I just don't want to make this video extremely long, but you can absolutely, like, that's why I cut this, right? You can absolutely cut some of these things and create some extra die cuts in here and have some fun with it. But they are, in the end, in that sense, they are both simple. And this is the third one, which is my practice one. um, and these are die cuts. These are using the blessings of home. You know, guys, it turned out to be one of my favorite stamp sets. I love them. They are so beautiful. And they really match these. Okay, no, I have to look for it. Anyway, Stampin' Up comes like almost immediately in my browser. Another important thing that I want you guys to remember, and is that today we have free shipping, so don't miss that. It happens like 2 or 3 times a year, and it's definitely a win-win when you order a lot of things. So I have all my little stuff ready to be ordered. I'm really usually, so it's the Abigail Rose. Yay, people. I had to look it up. I'm sorry about that. But this paper, I love this paper because they have a lot of options for you to color. And I do love that soft suede and the early espresso combo. It's funny, it's hard for me to use it, but I really like it. So just fun. And this is just, you know, I figured that embossed gold always looks so pretty. That embossed paper always looks gorgeous, and I rarely ever use it. I don't know why. So I'm pushing myself to use some of these things. Guys, thank you so much for being such troopers. Thank you so much for being here with me. I really, really appreciate your company. Don't forget, free shipping. I will be live next Tuesday. And I want to let you guys know from now, I know it's a little bit early, but I will be going back home to Costa Rica. It'll be on Thanksgiving Day. Actually, we're flying on Thanksgiving Day. So that week and a half, I'm gonna be back on the 8th. So that week and a half, I'm not going to have lives. I'll have videos and they'll be uploaded, but it won't be live. If I have a minute, I may pop in and just have like kind of chat with you guys, like in a premiere. But I am not sure how our schedule is kind of gonna look like. It you know, my niece is graduating and it's just a lot of fun, and we are planning all these trips and all these things, and of course it's just going to get super busy. So you know what, let me move back up there. Hey, there's me. I know the cards are probably more beautiful, but I feel so weird when I see my hands all over and it's like, oh, you're talking to hands. So thank you again for being here. I just wanted to let you know that that week and a half I probably won't have a live, but I'll be notifying there in the YouTube channel. And oh, thank you, Cherry. You know, I appreciate it. I have so much fun making cards for these videos. You have no idea. And the last thing I want to remind you guys is that I have my paper pumpkin video that goes every Thursday This coming video is super cute. You don't want to miss it. Those are always pre-recorded, but it's super cute card. And anything else? Anything else? Don't forget to. I always forget the important stuff, right? Like the announcements. I forget them. I'm such not a business person. Don't forget to like the video and share if you can, and subscribe to my channel if you like the general content of my channel. I am getting close to my 1,000 people. Yay! Share with your family so I get to 1,000. Just kidding. But do share the video and share the channel if you like it so I can actually get to my 1,000 people. When that happens, I am going to have a little raffle for those that are live. Um, I'm not sure what's going to go, but I'm going to get something for that raffle. So hopefully something that you don't have. And if it's not, then we can, kind of negotiate. It's fine. Um, I think that's all. Thank you, people, for being here. I appreciate you guys so much. And I do hope you have a wonderful rest and blessed, a wonderful rest of your day. I want to say blessed and wonderful rest of your day. Well, Spanish speaking, what can I do? But I do wish you the best for your rest of the day if you're watching your replay, or night in our case. And thanks again. Bye.